So I ran this poll on my Twitter and I said, how are you feeling about the market in the next 7 days? I wanted to gauge the sentiment of whether the people think the market's going up, down, or staying flat in the next 7 days. 50% of people said they were bullish, 23% of the people said they were bearish, and 28.4% said they were confused. If you were in the confused or bearish camp, you need to watch the show today because I may actually change your mind. Also, yesterday when we were on the show, I want to show you something. Yesterday when we were on the show, I said, look, if Bitcoin breaks above this trend line over here and remains above the trend line, then I'm going to flip bullish. And if not, if it does get rejected, then I'm going to say that this was like a perfect retest on the way down. I don't know. I look at this and to me, it looks like we've broken it. And so I've done some moves. I've bought some altcoins because of that. I want to show you exactly what I've done. And I want to show you exactly which altcoins I've been buying into. And then later on, I'm going to show you a way where you can actually earn some great money, crypto money, while having a lot of fun in what I think might be one of the next big things. So today's going to be a very, very fucking cool show. Let's go, guys. You know why the market's going up today? You know why we're getting this little pump? Because we have another market prayer. So you guys all know this market prayer, this one. So we actually have another one now. There's another market prayer in town. I'll show you the new market prayer that's in town. I don't know if you guys have seen this, but you got to get like one of these, what do they call those things that you burn? It's not incense, it's, is it sand? Sage. Oh, let's mute the sound. So I reckon if you do, and you do the sage thing, we can actually all get the market to go up. So go and get yourself some sage and start burning some sage. James, do you burn sage before you trade?
Not recently.
Not recently. Okay, well that explains a lot. That explains a lot. All right, guys, let's do this. We've got a big show today. I did say that I was going to flip bullish if we broke through the trend line. Well, we did break through the trend line, so I have to flip bullish. I did flip bullish. I'll show you exactly what my trades were. Yeah, we've got a lot of trades to talk about today. Lots and lots and lots of trades to talk about today. Remember, if you're not already subscribed to the channel, you must subscribe to this channel. And one of the big reasons why you need to subscribe to the channel is because of the banter bags. So how do the banter bags work? Well, what we do is we get very, very, very early stage allocations into projects. We put them into the banter bags, $1,000 each. And then these things list on the market. Sometimes they do 100x, 50x, 80x, 20x, whatever it is. And when we get to 1 million subscribers on Banter, which is not a long way away because we're getting about 1,000 subscribers a day and 350,000 subscribers on Banter Plus, we're going to give away the banter bags. You've got to have any Crypto Banter exchange with any link that you want. Any Crypto Banter exchange link will qualify you for that. If you don't already have an exchange link, you could take one with one of our sponsors, which is 𝗏𝗏𝗄. There's a link below. Sorry, for some reason our internet's not working today, but there it is. You could take one with 𝗏𝗏𝗄. You would get, if you did, you don't have to do any KYC. So that's for people who don't want to do KYC. You can trade all the derivatives there without doing KYC. You know who I'm talking to. You know exactly what I mean. I don't have to spell it out for you guys. All right, let's go. If you're not already a subscriber, subscribe to the channel. Let's go. If not, someone says you need a banter bag. Smash the like button. Just like obliterate the like button because today we're getting back into alpha because the market's green today. You want alpha, the more you smash the like button, the more excited I get, the more altcoin suggestions I give you. Today we're going to talk about, I made a list here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 altcoins and 3 airdrops. 8 altcoins and 3 airdrops. Where else do you get 8 altcoins and 3 airdrops? But to get that, 8 plus 3 is 11. So you need to we need to get 1,100 likes before we get to the altcoin section of the show, and then you guys get all the alpha. So, Joanne, UK greetings. Nice to see you again. Nice to see you, Gabby the DJ. Always good to see you, my friend. I see everybody's here. Marvin, yo. Someone says banter bags, please run demand. No, you need to get an exchange account. Subscribe to Banter, subscribe to Banter Plus. Don't be like Coffee Please, who wasn't subscribed. Don't be like Coffee Please, wasn't subscribed. All right, let's go. Let's get into this. We've got a lot to talk about today, and we don't have much time together today. We only have about 45 minutes. So I did say earlier on, if we break this trend line, I flip bullish. I don't know about you. It seems to me like we broke above the trend line over here. And now I did flip bullish. So what did I do in my bullish flip? I took a whole lot of positions. I added to a whole lot of our positions. You can see our 𝗬𝗏 position is doing really, really, really well. I added to the 𝗏𝗏 position. I added to one or two other positions, which I'll show you later on when we actually talk about the altcoin. The thing that excited me about this level over here is, look, we broke above the trend line over here. We also have a higher high in place. So there's the high there. There's the high there. We finally got a higher high in play. And also, if you zoom out a little bit, you've also got a higher low in play. That's the first one. That's the second one. So very, very, very bullish when you look at the charts. Like also pointed out, we bounced off the 100-day EMA. We reclaimed the 50-day EMA. And of course, as I said, we're pushing above the trend line. We need to hold this level. But if we do hold this level for 1 or 2 more days, then it's like the license to go absolutely, absolutely basically full bull. The other thing is Bitcoin is on track for its 5th consecutive green month, which would be the longest winning streak in the last 3 years. So you can see we are basically back in full bull. Also, with all the ETF selling now, I'm not going to say all the ETF selling is out the way, but a lot of the ETF selling is out the way. What you're seeing is you're starting to see a Coinbase premium again. So we went from a Coinbase discount to a Coinbase premium, which means that Americans, and what does Americans mean? It means ETFs and stuff like that. Those guys are all starting to buy on Coinbase. There's not enough Bitcoin on Coinbase, and so they start buying them at a premium. So that is what it looks like when we look at the on-chain data. Now, what happened to the dip? Because I said to you that I wasn't happy with the dip. I said I was looking for a dip that was like a respectable dip. You remember when we spoke about respectable and disrespectable dips or unrespectable dips. And then I said to you, look, I'm keeping cautious. I'm optimistic, but I'm cautious unless we break through this trend line, because I wanted to see a dip of 30%. And the dip that we got was like a dip for ants. It was a dip of 21.52%. So the question is, what happened to the dip? And that's why I asked the question today on my Twitter. I said, guys, who's confused? Who's bullish? And who's bearish? Let me know in the chat. I'm actually quite keen to know in the chat here today whether you guys are in the bullish camp, the bearish camp, or whether you're still confused, not sure where the market is going to move in the next 7 days. I really want to get a gauge, so let's go. Someone said Sheldon is on the fence. No, Sheldon's bearish. Sheldon opened a whole lot of shorts today, and I think he's going to get liquidated again. Josh, which side are you on? Because Josh also, he was on Sheldon's side. He said, yeah? Bear side. So Josh is bear. James, do you have a side?
Bullish midterm, bearish short term.
Bearish short term. We're talking about the next 7 days. I'm talking about the next 7 days. Bear bull, bear bull. Okay, let's see. So question is, what about the dip? So look, as I said to you, I wanted a dip of around 30%. And we have to watch what happens now, because we might learn a lot from this dip. I wanted a dip of 30%. But at the same time, I said, look, after 20%, I'm starting to nibble. I didn't get my full bags. I got to be honest. I didn't get my full bags. And maybe that's a learning that we need to take into account. And let me show you what I mean here. So if you look at previous corrections, and specifically you look at like 2017, this is a 2017 bull run. You can see that the corrections were quite heavy. Like there's a 37% over there. There's a 40% over here. There's a 40% over there. There's a 38% over there. There's a 34%, a 42%, a 40%. You can see that in 2017, when the market was small and illiquid, the dips were around 40%. Then we fast forward to 2021, and there were very few dips that went above 30%. So there's one over there. Then there's the lunar crash, 55%, and that's it. Even the FTX crash, 25%. So you look at this and you go, hold on a second. Maybe as the market matures, and as we get more and more money in the market and more liquidity in the market and more players in the market, this liquidity makes the dips a lot less aggressive. And so if you look at the dips that we've had in this correction, 23, 20, 22, 21, and you compare that to the 2017 bull market where we had 30s and 35s and 50s and stuff like that, maybe what you can conclude, maybe, and that's why we've got to be very, very, very careful now, is, and why we have to learn a lot now, maybe what you can conclude is that we're not in the era of getting multiple corrections in the 30s and 40s and 50%, specifically when it comes to Bitcoin. Maybe that's the learning. And that's something that we got to learn, because if that is the case, if that's the case, then maybe we should have bought a lot more when the dip came. Now, I did nibble. I didn't buy as much as I wanted to buy. I was still waiting for the market to go down slightly more into our thesis, but at least we got some of it. And the main thing is that we've got to learn from this and say, maybe now, where we used to buy between 20 and 30%, we should buy between, say, 15 and 25% down, because maybe the days of the big corrections are actually starting to be behind us. That's what I'm saying. Also, when you look at timing-wise for the corrections, so if we're going to have a big correction, the pre-halving dip, as 𝗏𝗏𝗘𝗘 says, he says, look, time is actually running out. The pre-halving period where pullbacks tend to occur is ending in 2 weeks, which means that there's only actually 2 weeks left for any downside for the pre-halving rally if we were to follow the previous fractal. He's basically saying, look, he's saying, if you are counting on this pre-halving dip and you want to take the two fractals or this pre-halving dip versus the last one, then there's only 2 weeks left. And after that, we basically should start going back up. So from a time-wise, there also seems to be some kind of squeeze. I think that what we need to take out of here is that instead of asking how far this dip's going to go or when the next dip is going to come, just buy the dip. In the bull market, you will be forgiven if you buy the dips very early in the bull market. And I think that's the biggest lesson here. The biggest lesson here is when you are so early in a bull market, you can make mistakes. You can buy Solana for $100. Say you land up buying Solana for $100 and it goes back down to $80, but then it goes to 300 or 400 and 500 at the end of the cycle. What's the difference? And that's the advantage that we have if we want to buy. If we make mistakes early in the bull market. Early in the bull market, dips are blessings, as we said. We want the market to dip so we can get exactly what we want. And you can see that what happened when the market actually dipped. I see the Discord is going crazy. Let's switch off the notifications here. I'm supposed to not have notifications. Nothing. Okay, good. Okay, so where was I? I was there. So I said, look, in this dip, what you can see is that the whales actually started to accumulate. So there were very smart people that said around 67 new entities now hold 1,000 Bitcoin or more, marking a 4.5% increase in the last 2 weeks. So the smart people were actually buying the dip. Did we make a mistake? I guess time will tell. We maybe could have bought more. We only started nibbling and we didn't actually land up filling our bags. And that's, I think, what the lesson is here. The lesson is to say, look, maybe now with Wall Street in the game, with all this new liquidity in the game, the dips specifically on Bitcoin aren't going to be as vicious as they were unless we get massive macroeconomic events. Maybe 20% is the new 30%. If we look at 2017, the 30% are maybe now replaced by 20%, and that's the lesson that we have to take out of here. Next time we get a correction, we land up actually buying it slightly before the time that it feels comfortable to actually start buying the dip. That's the massive takeout. And the truth is that if you're unsure or if you want to hedge yourself, then probably the best way to do that is to do what 𝗬𝗏𝗪 does, and that is to buy puts. So what he says, look, he bought puts because he thinks the price is going to go down. He hedged himself using puts. It is probably the safest and most cost-effective way to hedge yourself. That's why we partnered up with 𝗬𝗏𝗪. Link below. You can open an account on 𝗬𝗏𝗪. But then you can go to the options and you can hedge yourself by buying, like 𝗬𝗏𝗪's 29th of March puts. Protect yourself against the price going down. So in this case, if you wanted to protect yourself against the price going below today's price, you'd pay a little bit of a premium, but then you would protect yourself from the downside without the option of getting liquidated. So, go to sign up with 𝗬𝗏𝗪. We will be doing a lot of options trading courses. And I think that you need to, now that Wall Street's in the game and they're playing against us with all their sophisticated tools and whatever else, you got to be in the game. And the only way to be in the game is actually to have, to learn how to play with the options. Yeah. I think the other thing that's different about this cycle, there's a few things that are different about this cycle versus previous cycle. So one of the things that's very, very, very different is global liquidity. So if you look at global liquidity, this is the Bitcoin chart against global liquidity charts. And this is the global liquidity chart. And you can see where we are in the global liquidity chart. You can see where we are and potentially the trajectory of global liquidity. And what this guy says is the price of Bitcoin last month exhibited a strong correlation with global liquidity. We know that. Currently, liquidity is on the rise. All the banks, all the central banks are now putting money into the economy, but the Fed is in its tightening phase. So the Fed is the only one that's in its tightening phase. And what this global liquidity thing is doing is it is really making the markets explode. So you're looking at Bitcoin exploding. You got the stock market. Just look at the stock markets. Every single market is above every single moving average. That's what the bull market is about. Like, it's above the 5-day moving average, the 10-day moving average, the 20-day moving average, the 50-day, all the moving averages. All the markets are above all the bullish moving averages. You can see that the S&P 500 has hit all-time high today and has now hit record closing prices for the last 6 out of the 7 trading days. I mean, the S&P 500 is on an absolute tear because of the global liquidity. Tech stocks on a tear. So basically, you've got everything on a tear. You've got large inflows into tech. All of this there is bullish for us and bullish for the global liquidity cycle. Now, remember that tomorrow you got Powell speaking at the FOMC. And on the one hand, he does want to tighten, but on the other hand, Powell has a problem. Powell has global debt, which looks something like that. $34 trillion of global debt. And I read this tweet that says, investors are impatiently waiting for the Fed decision tomorrow. So let's just quickly get it zoomed up. However, there is not much the Fed can do at this point. With over 34 trillion national debt and 1 trillion in interest payments to service this debt, the Fed could only jawbone and pretend that it's going to be tougher. In reality, the Fed knows that rate cuts underway along with money printing pretty soon. The present economic model is devastating for the US economy and not sustainable. The Fed is going to fight till the last minute. Let's see how long they last from now. And essentially what he's saying is, look, tomorrow at the FOMC, the Fed's probably not going to increase interest rates or decrease interest rates. You can see it over there. But it's like a clock. Tick tock, tick tock, tick tock. Bottom line is they're going to have to start reducing the interest rate payments. And you'll remember that the last time that Powell spoke, which was on the 13th of December, that started a massive bull trend. You can see on Bitcoin and on the S&P and on everything else. So it's like, is he going to follow up? Well, maybe he doesn't want to, but what choice does he have? Because he's got $34 trillion in debt and they're paying $1 trillion annually. He's got no choice but to actually start reducing rates and actually start putting more money in the markets. That's pretty much where it is. So that's why this cycle is different. You've now got global liquidity very, very, very much on our side. And then the other reason why the cycle is really different is because this time we actually have Wall Street on our side. So every other cycle that we've had, Wall Street hasn't been on our side. In fact, Wall Street has been against us because it's been us against Bitcoin, against traditional finance, Bitcoin against Wall Street. Now, not only do we have Wall Street on our side, but we also have Wall Street actually fighting for us. So it's not like they are indifferent or whatever else. They are actually fighting for us. I don't know if you saw this, but yesterday the ETF ads started to get approved on Google. And I mean, Google is now a shit show of ETF ads. Everywhere you go, it's just ETF ads. Have a look at this. No matter what you search, it's just ETF ads after ETF ads after ETF ads. That's all it is. Also, I read this tweet from Fred Krueger. He says, in 2022, VCs invested $33 billion into non-Bitcoin crypto. That was like the VC investments. In 2023, that number was $11 billion. So 1/3 of it. Wall Street as a whole is 100 times as big as VC. I believe that once Wall Street really gets Bitcoin, it can find $100 billion to invest in the next 5 years. It's just what we're not used to. We've been playing in this like small ecosystem where it's just been our retail money, which has been very, very, very hard to get onto crypto. And now we're playing with Wall Street. And when we're playing with Wall Street basically adds more zeros. Like we've been talking in millions and billions. They're talking in billions and trillions. And so like he says, I wouldn't be surprised if they just put $100 billion into Bitcoin in the next 5 years. So that is why this cycle is actually different. We don't have, we've got the global liquidity cycle on our side, and we've got Wall Street very, very much fighting for us, not actually fighting against us, which is what they've been doing for the last couple of cycles. And so why I said that, if you're confused about where the market's going in the next 7 days, or if you're bearish about where the market's going in the next 7 days, it doesn't really matter. Because if you're wrong, then you'll end up buying Solana at $80 instead of $100, or at $100 instead of $80. And when Solana gets to 500 or 600, because of the global liquidity cycle, because of the 4-year and the halving cycle, because Wall Street is now putting way more money than we can ever imagine into Bitcoin, it won't really matter. And then on top of that, well, of course, you've got Bitcoin back in the trend and potentially continuing its trend up. Again, if we get 2 or 3 days close above this trend line, we print the higher high, or we cement that higher high over here. It's not just a wick. I mean, I think then it's we just have to admit that this thing is actually going parabolic, and then you don't really want to be left behind when this thing goes parabolic, right? I think you can't really afford to be left behind when this thing goes parabolic. Anyway, let's quickly touch into. We looked at the ETF ads. Let's quickly just look at the ETF race. So let's quickly look at the outflows. The outflows have been declining sharply. I don't know if you guys saw. So you had this trend: 640 million, 515 million. This is the grayscale outflows. We went to 255 million, and then yesterday was the smallest day again, 191 million. It looks like the bleeding has stopped from GBTC. And right now, as we look at it, 3.1% of total Bitcoin is actually staked in ETFs or locked up in ETFs. Now, what I think is when we look at this in a year, if we've got 3% of Bitcoin now in ETFs, maybe in 1 year, we've got 10% of all Bitcoin in ETFs. And that number just continues to grow and grow and grow until eventually there's 20 and 30% locked up in ETFs. And the balance is locked up with like really, really, really long-term holders. So I think we just got to look at this. I think this is a good starting point of where we are today, but it's not really about where we are today. It's about where we're going to be in a year from now. And I think that number is only going to go up. So I think let's timestamp and tweet stamp this number, 3.1%, and let's look at it where we are in about a year. All right, listen, enough with the garbage, enough with the macro, enough with Bitcoin. Let's get into degening. Let's talk about altcoins. I think that is why you're here, right? Someone says Sheldon has been possessed by 𝗕𝗏. I told him not to take a Solana short yesterday. And someone says flip-flop run is at it again. I literally said to you for the last 5 shows, I said, if we break above the trend line, I've got to flip. I can't predict what the market is, but I can tell you that I can invalidate my thesis when the market breaks through certain levels. If the market is under a trend line, then I said, that's my thesis. As soon as we break up, I've got to change my thesis. I'm not 𝗕𝗏. 𝗕𝗏 didn't flip-flop when he was supposed to flip-flop, and he got carried out and he took out 60, 70, 80,000 people. If you think that there's a YouTuber in the world that can actually predict the market accurately 100% of the time, you're wrong. We get given what the market throws at us, and then we react accordingly based on things that change. And things in the market change every single day. Okay, so every single day. So that is basically what we're doing. We're reacting to what the market has given to us. If tomorrow something implodes, then maybe I will change my tune and I won't be bullish. If we break through certain levels, maybe I will be bullish. You have to react to what the market actually giving you. What I told you guys is that generally in the next 3 months, 6 months, I'm the biggest fucking bull in the world. In the next week, 2 weeks, I was hoping that we could actually get a correction. And we did. We got a 20% correction. Not as big as I wanted. And therefore, I didn't buy as much as I probably should have bought. But I did land up doing a lot of shopping. And you know that. And specifically what I said is that I'm very, very, very bullish that the next trade is actually the altcoin trade. I've got zero interest in the Bitcoin trade. I had a lot of interest in the Bitcoin trade up until now. But that trade is now finished. And I have to start looking at altcoins. And yesterday I said to you when we spoke about a lot of altcoins. And the reason why we spoke about them was because I said the next trade is the altcoin trade. And this guy says, after its breakout of the 38.2% Fibonacci retracement level, previously a resistance, it's now acting as a support. You can see it over here. Once we break that little support over here, we will probably continue to go up. Rect Capital says altcoin market manages to hold the base of the triangle, which is over here. It looks like it's breaking up. It is reversing to the upside, trying to break out. If it does break out, guys, we go up. This is pretty much where it is. Sheldon disagrees. Kyle, if you look at Kyle and Sheldon, very funny. Kyle is bullish, Sheldon is bearish. Yeah, so someone says, so it's Michael van der Popp. He says, the altcoin market cap is holding above the crucial threshold of 675 million. I'm expecting continuation towards the 1 and 1.25 trillion in the coming 2 to 4 months. He's expecting, based on this chart, that the altcoin market doubles in the next 2 to 4 months. Can you actually imagine what happens if the altcoin market doubles in the next 2 to 4 months? That'll blow our minds. That's a melt up. But the truth is that if you look at the markets right now, the markets are in a melt up. The global markets are in a melt up. I showed you the metrics around the global stock markets. There they are. That's a melt up. I've actually never seen this table with every single index above every single moving average. Like, never seen that before. Actually, I did. I saw it in COVID. Okay, this is where we are. We are living through a melt up, and a lot of people are cautious. And you must be cautious. But the problem is, if you're too cautious in the bull market, then you're not going to land up. You're not going to land up making any money. All right, let's talk a little bit about altcoins. Yesterday on the show, you will remember that we spoke about a whole lot of altcoins. Josh, can you remind me which altcoins we spoke about yesterday? And if you need a clue, just look at the biggest bubbles. Well, we spoke about Solana. Remember, we did a whole section about Solana. I said, guys, you need to buy Solana this week. Yes, why did I say you need to buy Solana this week? Because Jupiter airdrop. You remember that? Well, here is our Solana trade, up 10%. Okay, there it is over here, up 10%. Solana is now at 105. Yesterday when we met, it was at under 100. It was like $97. Told you this is big. We're getting an $800 million airdrop. Also, if you look at the Phantom wallet, which is the key Solana wallet, it flipped Coinbase in terms of App Store downloads. I read this. So there is the Jupiter airdrop. And what the guys are saying is that no Jupiter tokens were sold to any kind of VCs. That's crazy, which means that if any VCs want to invest in Jupiter, and a lot of VCs are going to want to invest in Jupiter, they can basically, they need to buy it on the open market, which is absolutely huge. Like, imagine a launch of one of the biggest exchanges in the world, and VCs couldn't get in before you guys. Andre from DWF, he says, started integrating Jupiter Exchange for our prop trading. It is aligned with our strategy to be more deeply involved in DeFi. So you can see a lot of excitement around this Jupiter airdrop. We did call it yesterday. We told you this yesterday. We said it's going to be a massive week for Solana. I maintain that. Tomorrow, the situation says, run some love for the New York fan about to move to Cape Town. Situation, please come and live at our offices, bro. Come and trade with us, have fun with us. You're more than welcome. Just ping me when you get here. You're more than welcome. You're more than welcome. So 31st, tomorrow, Jupiter airdrop. We have to trade that together. It's very important that we trade the Jupiter airdrop together. Make sure that you have accounts ready to trade. BYBIT, BitGet. If you don't want a KYC, then use Bitflex, because you see, they don't require KYC and you can still trade. Go and get those accounts today, because tomorrow it's going to be too late. Go and get all the accounts today, because as I said, tomorrow it's going to be too late. If you sign up with any Banter link, you do get a chance to win big. There's a couple of places that you can win. I'm going to show you one of them now. We've changed the win big. Instead of giving away 10,000 of each of the tokens every month, we're going to break it down into weeks. So the first price prediction that you have to make is you have to predict the price of Solana on the 8th of Feb. What is the price of Solana going to be on the 8th of Feb? And the closest one, you've got to have any Crypto Banter account, any link with any Crypto Banter account. If you're the closest, you win $1,000. But if you have a BYBIT account and you use the BYBIT account to trade Solana, you win 10 times that. So you win 10,000 worth of Solana. So again, any Crypto Banter link, any exchange, BYBIT, BitGet, CoinW, Bitflex, 𝗥𝗫, you can enter. If you are the winner, and by the way, you get 5, with every user ID, you get 5 predictions, you get $1,000. However, because BYBIT is sponsoring this competition, if you use your BYBIT account and you win from your BYBIT account, you get 10 times the prize. So this is how you're going to do it. Go and sign up today. Don't say I never told you. And if you don't, if you haven't signed up, just click on this, click here. Just click where it says open account. See, click there, open account. You get 10 times the value. Now we're going to keep increasing this. So next week it's going to be 2,000 for 20,000, then 3,000 for 30,000. So go and open your accounts now. Okay, so we spoke about the Jupiter airdrop. Josh, if you want to win $10, sir, what was the other bubble that we spoke about yesterday on the show, sir? Render. We said Render. Do you remember we spoke about Render? We said Apple gonna launch Apple Vision Pro. Do you remember? We said big thing. You know, we said that. Do you remember that, right? You were here. So Render exploded yesterday. It's still not over because remember, Apple is launching the Vision Pro, and we had Vitalik writing an article about AI. Get this. So Vitalik writes this article. This is Vitalik, the founder of Ethereum, around the overlap between blockchain and artificial intelligence. Very, very, very good article. I read the article. So he says, look, artificial intelligence is centralized with no transparency, very energy consumptive. Monetization is limited and it's monopolistic. And that's true. Like OpenAI has a Bard, OpenAI have kind of monopolies here. They train their models like on very based and on very woke models. No transparency. They decide. Blockchain decentralizes it, makes it more transparent, makes it more energy efficient, and allows the users to monetize AI. So he wrote a very, very, very bullish article about AI and blockchain. And with that, in that article, by the way, he also mentioned another token, which coincidentally we mentioned yesterday, which was 𝗕𝗏𝗃.
There we go.
You see? So just look at the hit rate here, bro. This is better than the Crypto Legends Telegram group. Okay, so we spoke about 𝗏. Look at 𝗏, one of the biggest bubbles. We spoke about Render, one of the biggest bubbles. We spoke about 𝗕. Josh, do you remember the other one we spoke about yesterday? You remember? Hold on, I'll remind you. Just hint. Hold on, hint. Let me just find you the hint over here. Hold on. We are $67,990 up on our trade. Do you remember which one that is?
That's going to be
𝗠𝗏. Exactly. I told you guys. Yesterday it was at 139 or 135. I said buy 𝗠𝗏. I think it's a very, very, very good trade because it's got a lot of relative strength, right? Here's the 𝗠𝗏 trade for those who took it. Now 𝗠𝗏 is about to go into price discovery. Like, yes, there's a little candle up here, but you can see we could go into price discovery here. I also saw something which was absolutely amazing here. If you wanted a risk neutral trade or a market risk neutral trade, what you could have done is you could have gone long 𝗠𝗏, short 𝗵𝗏s, which means that on derivatives, which means that you'd land up paying very little funding, number one. Number two, if the market went down, you would have stayed neutral. If the market goes up, you would have stayed neutral. All you're doing is you're taking a bet on 𝗠𝗏 versus 𝗵𝗏s, and you would have doubled your money. You literally would have doubled your money on taking that bet of 𝗠𝗏 versus 𝗵𝗏s. So to do that, you got to have a derivatives account, BYBIT account, BitGet account, open it up below. What you would have done is you would have gone long 𝗠𝗏 and you would have gone short 𝗵𝗏s. You would have taken zero market risk and you would have actually executed that trade. So that's the other one that we spoke about. You see, Josh, look, we spoke about 𝗕, we got 𝗕. Okay, we didn't speak about 𝗧 yesterday. Render we spoke about. 𝗏 we spoke about. Rune, look at our Rune trade, Josh. Printing money like we should be, Josh. Maybe
I'm giving you permissions to own it. You can have it.
Maybe my Discord should be called the Crypto Legends, bro. Yeah, maybe my Discord should be the thing. They called my Discord. Where is the link to my Discord? No, here it is. You see, this is my Discord. It's called Front Runners. There are only 1,000 people in it. Is there another waiting list?
Do you want to let in the first 1,000?
No, you can sign up on the waiting list. We're only letting in 1,000, but there are already 1,000 people waiting, right? But put yourself on the waiting list. There's a link below. Put yourself on the waiting list. All the alpha, all the stuff that I trade on is all here in this Discord. You can see all the calls. We're actually in this Discord over here. You want to be in it. It's full now, but put your name down. And if someone dies or someone leaves or someone's credit card bounces, then it's done. All right, let's see. What other altcoins are there? So we spoke about we spoke about 𝗠𝗏. there was something that I wanted to read here. Oh, by the way, did you see this? The FTX estate sold $1 billion worth of 𝗬𝗏 for $100 million. The liquidator. What a fucking idiot. If only he watched the show, he would know that he shouldn't have sold his tokens. All right, let's see. What else? So the Solana trade, big trade this week. We've got to pay attention to the Solana trade. All these trades also were in the Good Morning Crypto newsletter. There's a whole list of trades in the Good Morning Crypto newsletter where there's a link below if you want to sign up. Free newsletter for you. Free alpha for you. Free alpha. Look, all these trades were actually in there. Render we spoke about based on Vitalik's article. Based also on Vitalik's article, he spoke about 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 and coincidentally, BYBIT also just listed 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 𝗨. If you want to trade the perpetuals, you can trade the perpetuals on BYBIT, but you have to have a link. And if you use the link, you can get, not only do you get up to like a $30,000 sign-up bonus, but you also can win big. You can win 10 times the amount of money. And I'll show you another reason why you need to enter in a second. So 𝗨𝗏𝗓𝗓, the reason why it's pumping is, when is Frontrunners opening? Should we open it, Josh? Okay, we're going to open it in 1 hour. So it's in 1 hour, exactly 1 hour from now, we're going to open Frontrunners. So if you're on the list, in 1 hour, you'll know if you're getting in or if you're not getting in. So 𝗨𝗏𝗓, unbelievable metrics. You can see lending was launched and the metrics are absolutely huge. 𝗨𝗏𝗓 is just one that I keep accumulating. I bought a whole lot of 𝗨𝗏𝗓 yesterday, full disclosure. There it is. You can see it over there. I bought it. I've now got $500,000 worth of 𝗨𝗨𝗓, which is now worth $1 million almost. So $363,000 in profit over there. What else? Let's see what else. There's a whole lot of other altcoins we need to be buying. 𝗥𝗫𝗫. So their burn auction is growing at lightning fast rate, up to 500%. So their burn is growing a lot. 49 million tokens now staked. So also good from a fundamentals point of view. Super, also up. I don't know if you remember when I took the gummy on Dylan's show, I basically said 𝗬𝗏 and super. And there they are. And then the other one which I bought, and I think I've bought a lot too many of this. I've got a huge position in this, is GMX. And the reason why I bought it is because with this volatility, with the markets going up and down, the fees that they're going to earn are quite big. And to me, this is like near the bottom of the range, right? So I ended up buying some more GMX, which just added to my GMX position. Okay, so that's like the 11 altcoins that I promised you. I think I gave you a whole lot more. Now let's talk about airdrops. Airdrops while having fun, while learning about an amazing new project, which I think you all need to know about. There's a project that you need to know about. You need to get involved in it. It's a project that our friends from 𝗕𝗆𝗕 actually invested in. It's called GG.Zip. I don't know how many of you have actually seen this. Josh, have you played GG.Zip?
I've not played it yet, sir.
You haven't played GG?
No.
Okay, so GG, Solana, so here it is. Let's go. They say we've raised, so what they've done is they've created a game, GG, it's on Solana obviously. How does it work? Well, it's like a mix between Pokemon and betting on Pokemon. So how it works is, let's see how they call it. Their mission is to merge crypto, gaming, and augmented reality to create the first AR crypto gaming ecosystem on Solana. How does it work? Well, you got to get an invite code to join. And then what you got to do is you got to find the G boxes in your city. But not only that, you can actually bet on your friends. So for example, if me, Fred, Josh, Sheldon all go out looking, you can bet on who's going to find the boxes. So it's almost like, if you think about it, like Pokemon, but where you can bet on who's actually going to find the boxes. Imagine like Pokemon, but you can bet on who's going to find whatever they're going to find. So what you need to do is you need to get an invite. I'll try and get you guys invite codes. Just follow my Twitter. I'll try and get you. I'm not promising that I will. I'm going to try and get you guys invite codes. I mean, if this does anything like Pokemon, over 1 billion users. Also, I mean, I don't know if you saw this, but Pokemon actually have like how many deaths and how many injuries. And they boast about this. They've got like a site which logs. Yeah, look at it. Look, 2 crows decided to wreck a Pokemon player in Japan during a Pokemon Go Fest. A man shot and killed while playing Pokemon with 7-year-old daughter. Pokemon Go player. It's like they've actually got like Pokemon deaths. Like no kidding, they've got that. Anyway, they are offering airdrop. You see, airdrop. So maybe if you go and use the game, you can actually, and I think it's going to be a fun game. You can actually get the airdrop. So go and check it out. It's the website is GG.Zip. Then if you want another airdrop, one of our sponsors, Commonwealth. Commonwealth are like the guys that give you guys, it's not a launch pad. It's almost like they give you the opportunity to co-invest in very, very, very good projects. Go and sign up their site. This is the site. There's a link below. And you can actually get an airdrop. This is a guaranteed airdrop. This is actually a guaranteed airdrop. I mean, there's another site which you should probably go look at the same narrative, which is called Farcaster. So what is Farcaster? It's a social network which allows people to transact. And you can see that people are building amazing sites. Like it took 9 hours for this designer to build a working Girl Scout cookie shopping cart and checkout with Farcaster on Web3. So it's quite a big thing now. And if you look at like the 75,000 users, Vitalik's on it, Hayden Adams, who's the founder of Uniswap, he's on it. I really think it's probably worth taking a look at it. Today I'm going to go and play this GG. I'm going to go play GG today. That's pretty much what I'm going to do. I told you also that you should. Well, look at this. So you've got 𝗵𝗐 Labs, which is a project which is launching on Ape Terminal. I'm going to really watch this one closely because I want to see like how Ape Terminal is going to perform after the Satoshi VM launch. So let's see what happens. I told you also there's a good reason for you to get a BYBIT, BitGet, or any of the exchanges that are all, by the way, listed below. So here's the reason why. I'm going to put $10,000 into 5 tokens. I'm going to pick a winner from here. I'm going to do it on Friday. On Friday, I'm going to pick a winner from here. And that person is going to get $10,000. $10,000. I'm going to invest $10,000, and the winner is going to get the profits after a year. So I think that's pretty much a good enough reason. A good enough reason for you to open BYBIT or BitGet accounts or Bitflex accounts or Mexi accounts. Any account. All right. Lastly, I don't know if you saw this, but 2 interesting bits of news. One is that yesterday the first human got an implant from Neuralink. Neuralink is the chip that Elon Musk has created, which is basically like it's a chip that enhances your brain. Basically, you can download your brain to the cloud. You can put your brain onto the cloud. Absolutely crazy that they tested it in humans. Obviously, it worked, and now they've got it. In animals, and now they've got it in humans. Also, as I said yesterday, that the US could actually strike Iraq. We've got to be very, very, very cognizant because this actually could cause some kind of wobbles in the market. Anyway, before we go, because we're not going yet, we're not ready to leave quite yet. Let's quickly look at the markets and remind Josh about all the tokens that we spoke about yesterday, and quickly check in on our newsroom. The newsroom, remember, shows you all the stuff that we look at. This is how we make our shows. This is where all our researchers sit. This is where all our researchers sit, not shit. Let's just see. Is there anything happening here? Is there any breaking news? 22 million Jupiter. Okay, so people are already starting to sell their Jupiter tokens before they actually even have them. Another decrease in Grayscale coming out. Grayscale moving their BTC. We can see that. All right, so no, I think we've covered everything on today's show, which means that I shall see you guys again tomorrow. Until then, and we're going to be on twice tomorrow. Move the screen. What have you done? You've moved me. Okay, so listen, tomorrow we're going to be on twice. Once we're going to be on when I do a show, and once Sheldon and I are going to trade the FOMC meeting live with you guys tomorrow, but that's going to be on Banter Plus. So look out for the announcement. It's going to be on Banter Plus. Now, Josh, I will see you guys again tomorrow. Until then, trade well, my friends.